Hi everyone, I'm Noah Petro, the project scientist of NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter spacecraft, which has been at the moon for over a decade now, sending back a treasure trove of data, including some spectacular images.
Take a look at that.
Inevitably, whenever NASA publishes a photo or releases a video of ours showing the lunar landscape, we get emails, tweets, and online posts from viewers asking us to further explain some of the weird-looking visuals that they're seeing. So today, we're going to look at these strange and mysterious-looking features on the moon to answer the question, what the heck is that? So let's launch into this.
The moon.
In our video, Apollo 13 Views of the Moon, many viewers wondered about this strange-looking circle with dark lines. So what the heck is that? Well, for starters, this is not the remnants of an ancient lake, and apologies to the sci-fi crowd, it's not a secret moon base with runways for spacecraft. This is a geological feature known as Komarov Crater. It's 80 kilometers wide, and it's on the far side of the moon on the edge of Mare Moscoviense. The floor is covered with a network of rills that make it look like sun-dried mud, and it's a great example of a floor fractured crater, or FFC. So what made Komarov look like that? The leading idea among scientists is that FFCs are like volcanoes that didn't quite reach the surface. An impactor hits the moon, forming the crater, and underneath the crater floor, the impact creates a zone of broken rock called a breccia lens. Magma from deeper inside the moon rises into the cracks of the breccia lens, but something stops it from getting all the way to the surface. So it spreads out under the crater floor, forming what's called a sill. The magma and hot gases in the sill push on the crater floor from below, causing it to bulge and fracture like the top of a cake in an oven. The cracks you see are known as graben.
Release the graben!
Using data from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, scientists have cataloged over 100 floor fractured craters, just like Komarov. They are fascinating works of nature from billions of years ago.
Billions.
An image from the Apollo 11 mission has gotten a lot of attention over the years. Here you see a pair of craters known as Messier and Messier A. But they don't look like the more typical round craters that you see on the moon. LRO has taken even more high-definition shots of these two sites, showing us incredible detail. These oval shapes and areas of ejected rock do look like they could belong in Star Wars as the crash site of the Millennium Falcon. And actually, the way you might imagine a scene like that happening, with an object slamming and then skipping across the surface, is what took place here, except with an asteroid. You see, at very low angles, an incoming asteroid can actually become decapitated, with the top part splitting off at the impact and either escaping back into space or skipping to form a second crater. Think of it like skipping a stone across the water. Both laboratory impact experiments and computer modeling have demonstrated the physical effects of the oblique impact of a large asteroid on the moon, and LRO's data helps prove the formation of these unusual features.
Hello.
Scattered across the lunar surface are these long, winding features, which many viewers have correctly assumed are channels. On the moon, these are called rills. There's a prominent one here on the Aristarchus Plateau, and if you're comparing to visuals on the Earth, you might be tempted to think about long river canyons flowing in long, sweeping meanders, like the mighty Mississippi pouring out into the Gulf of Mexico. And if that's what you're thinking, erase it from your memory, because it's wrong. Now, to be fair, when these channels were observed on the moon for the first time, there was an immediate thought that water may have carved these features. But once we got actual samples from the moon, combined with additional spacecraft data and studies over the years, we've come to understand that there was never flowing water on the moon. So what could carve these sweeping features? If you said flowing liquid hot magma after it erupted on the moon's surface, you'd be correct.
Winner!
When lava flows across the surface, it erodes the crust and slowly flows as it bends and turns, forming these beautiful channels. We have a great view of this in our RIMA-PRINS visualization. Here you see a long channel where lava once flowed from the Vera volcanic depression. Eruptions of lava fountains formed a lake of lava 300 meters deep and carved a lava channel 100 times deeper than anything found on the Earth. These types of features were so compelling that the Apollo 15 mission went and explored one in 1971, known as the Hadley Rill. Future explorers may want to visit others, but they should leave their fishing rods at home. This visual is one of our most popular. This is a picture of Tycho Crater and the famous Central Peak boulder, which is about 400 feet wide. Now that's longer than a football field. Whee! How in the world did that wind up there? Well, I have no idea.
No, dadgummit.
We're going to fly now into a spot on the near side to look at this weird feature, which has long defied an easy explanation. It's known as Reiner Gamma. Those squiggles and swirls sure are bizarre. A combination of computer modeling and data gathered from numerous recent lunar missions, including Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, now sheds light on the origin of these unusual surface decorations, which we call lunar swirls. Now think of it this way. You've probably been told that when you go outside to put on your sunscreen. Well, these beautiful swirls are constant reminders that the moon is no different from you and me, except that it's a moon and we're humans. These swirls are examples of what happens when the moon applies SPF 3 million. The moon is constantly bombarded by radiation from the sun and galaxy, as well as micrometeorites that sandblast the surface. These swirls, however, show what happens when the radiation is blocked from reaching the surface. Data suggests that small magnetic anomalies block radiation from reaching the surface, and therefore prevent the moon from getting sunburned in these areas, which keep them as bright as they appear to be. So the next time you put on sunblock to go lounge outside, think of the moon and how it gets baked in the sun, just like you and me. Thanks for watching today. Hopefully this video taught you more about the moon and that you aren't left thinking, what the heck was that? I'm Noah Petro, signing off.